Hello and welcome again. I hope you all are fine with your family members. Dear students, today in this video lecture, I'll try to clear magic realism. Magic realism in Shalimar the Clown. As you know, Shalimar the Clown is a novel by Salman Rushdie. It was published in 2005 and the novel took Rushdie almost 4 years to write, and the novel derived its name from the Shalimar Gardens of Srinagar, Kashmir Valley. So before going in detail, I think we should understand what is magic realism. Magic realism has no clear-cut definition. Many critics and authors has given different ideas and different definitions of magic realism. But still we try to understand. As you can see in my notes, magic realism is a genre of literature that depicts the real world with some elements of magic or fantasy. What you got, the point is that it's a genre of literature that depicts the real world. It doesn't create something unreal or imaginary, but the things are taken from the real world with some elements of magic or fancy. It's a literary mode rather than a distinguishable genre. As I have told you that different critics have given different definitions. So some critics regards it's a literary mode, not a literary genre. It's an approach to literature that weaves fancy and myth into everyday life. So now let's talk about the origin of the term. The term magic realism was originated in Germany in 1920s, and initially it was used to describe the paintings of Weimar Republic. Initially it was used to describe the paintings of the Weimar Republic, and the term was coined around 1924-1925 by German critic named French Roh. So the term was coined by a German critic, French Roh, and to French Roh, magic realism was simply a painting. To French Roh, magic realism was simply a painting where real forms are combined in a way that does not match to daily reality. Getting my point? I repeat, to French Roh, this magic realism was simply a painting where real forms are combined in such a way that does not match to daily reality. In fact, what French Roh calls magic realism, it is simply expressionist painting or new objectivity. It is simply an expressionist painting or new objectivity, and it is also known by the name of new objectivity. As you can see in the notes, it is simply expressionist painting or new objectivity. It is basically an art of surprise. What is magic realism? It is basically an art of surprise. Why? Because this is the transformation of common and the everyday into an awesome and the unreal. Let me simplify it. So we can say that in magic realism we find the transformation of common and the everyday into an awesome and the unreal. Getting my point? Try to understand, in magic realism the things of common and everyday life are transformed into an awesome and unreal world. See, this is the nub of magic realism, and I want you to clear about magic realism. So I again repeat it. Magic realism. In magic realism, we find the transformation of common and everyday into an awesome and unreal. Clear? It means something that is common and everyday happening in our life. This is transformed and this is presented in an awesome and unreal manner. I again repeat, it is that it means something that is common and that is everyday happening in our life. This is transformed and this is presented in an awesome and unreal manner, right? It is basically an art of surprise. Why? Because this is transformation of the common and the everyday into the awesome and unreal, and that's why we call it an art of surprise. Now there are some more things which you can include in magic realism. See, in magic realism, time exists in a kind of timeless fluidity, and the unreal happens as a part of reality. In magic realism, time exists in a kind of timeless fluidity, and the unreal happens as a part of reality. The main point is that unreal happens as a part of reality. You may underline that unreal happens as a part of reality. Right? See, it doesn't focus on creating the imaginary being or world, rather, it focuses on the discovery of the mysterious relationships between man and his circumstances. It does not focus on creating the imaginary being or world, rather, it focuses on the discovery of the mysterious relationships between man and his circumstances. It does not give us an imaginary world like utopia, but what it tries to discover the mystery in the relationship of man and his circumstances. In fact is that its focus is not on imaginary world or being, rather it focuses on the discovery of something that is mysterious. Fine. It focuses on the discovery of the mysterious relationships between man and his circumstances. So there may be differences between the life of a man or the lives of men. It can be summed up in 4-5 points. So now what are these points? I summed up again. See, number 1, magic realism is a combination of reality and facts. So this is an amalgamation of something that is real or fictitious. It is the transformation of the real into awesome and unreal. So in magic realism, something that is real, it is transformed or it is presented in an awesome and unreal manner. And that's why it is an art of surprise. If you talk about post-colonial authors like Salman Rushdie, if you talk about post-colonial authors like Salman Rushdie, they use it as a mixing of historical facts and fabulistic elements. Fabulistic means fable-like elements, somehow unreal. So let's have a look at Shalimar the clown. Now, magic realism is working in Shalimar the clown. As you can see in the notes, elements of magic realism in Shalimar the clown mainly in 3 characters. If you go through the text, you will find 3 characters in which we can claim that Rushdie has put magic realism or the elements of magic realism. So Rushdie in this book mixes the world history with the events in the lives of his characters. He takes something historical events and mingles those historical events with the lives of his characters So this is somehow working in Shalimar the clown. See, you all aware of the character of Max Ophilus, and he is the resistance hero of against the Nazis forces. Max grows up in Strasbourg. It is an area of conflict between France and Germany, as Kashmir is an area of conflict between India and Pakistan. So, if you go through the book, you will find that Max lives throughout the Second World War. The events during this war and the wanderings of Max throughout the world, they are basically depicted in this book. And then we come to know that Max tries to escape. Suddenly, we come to know that Max tries to escape Strasbourg, but he fails. It was under the control of Nazis forces, and Max was like a prisoner there. In due course of time, his parents die. Then suddenly, we are told that he alone escapes by an airplane. Right? We just come to know that he is transformed out of France to England. How this escape from Nazi camp is somehow mysterious, and at the same time it is something which surprises us. Means Max escape from Nazis camp surprises us, and it seems a little bit mysterious. So these events which are related to his escape, they are described in a matter-of-fact manner. They are described in a matter-of-fact manner, but they don't seem fabulistic. I mean, fable-like, they don't seem unlikely. Why? Because his escape takes place. We cannot deny the fact that he escapes from there. Means his escapes takes place, but in what way? That is very mysterious. The way he escapes makes this episode mysterious. So you can say that his escape from the Nazi camp, it shows what his transformation of the real into awesome and unreal. Getting my point? I want to simplify the point here, that his escape is very much real. It's not false or unreal. His escape takes place in the book, but the way his escape takes place, it is very much mysterious, unreal, or awesome. So what is the real here? Real is his escape, that he escaped from Nazi camp. It's reality. And what is awesome here and unreal here? That is the way how he escaped from the camp. It seems somehow magical, to be magical. It is somehow to be surprising, right? So the second character where we find some magical elements is the character of Colonel Kachwaha. You are very much clear that Colonel Kachwaha is presented in the book as a man who can see sounds, hear color, and taste feelings. So Colonel Kachwaha is a military man, and he has raised a war against insurgency in Kashmir Valley. So the story reveals that this colonel, he saw sounds, he heard colors, and he tasted feelings. Book reveals that this colonel had the capacity to see sounds, to hear colors, and to taste feelings. So can you believe that a person can see sounds, hear colors, and taste the feelings? Is it not something very funny? So, uh, you can believe, or you can say that here in the character of Colonel Kachwaha, we find something that's not real. but he has presented a character that seems to be very real, and we can claim that a person can see sounds, hear colors, and taste feelings, because you also know that in the poetry of John Keats we find some elements of such sense perception. It is called sense perception, and it's almost found in all the odes of Keats, but particularly in Ode to a Nightingale. So this is not so strange and mysterious as we feel it. It is somehow possible, you know. This occurrence can be called synesthesia. What? Synesthesia means sense perception, you find in the poems of Keats. Okay, so this capacity of Kachwaha, though it may be fabulistic, but we have a logical and scientific explanation to believe. So once again, this is the example of magic realism. And sorry, the next character in which we find some points of magic realism is the character of Bulbul Fak, who is also called Iron Mullah. So Iron Mullah has presented, who has a sulfurous smell and made of scraped iron. How can a man made of scraped iron? So, if you go through the text, you will find that this Iron Mullah has a sulfurous smell, I mean sulfur-like smell. So you know he is the leader of party of insurgents who are killed by the Indian army. Through the book, we come to know that he is made up of scraped iron. So can you believe that someone can be made of scraped iron? So scraped iron metaphorically indicates the over fanatic nature of that bulbul fuck. So the fact that bulbul fuck is made of scraped iron is somehow rational, and it can be accepted as a part of reality because he was of such nature, I mean he was over fanatic, so we can say that he has made of scraped iron. Again, this is a kind of magic realism. He is an iron mullah. It is real. It can be real metaphorically, and it is presented in an awesome and unreal manner. So this is Iron Mullah, who is made of scraped iron, is reality, and he is spreading hatred and fanaticism. This is the reality, but the way that the quality of this man is presented in an awesome and unreal manner. So, so I hope it is clear to you people that magic realism is very much present in the book Shalimar the Clown, and you have to keep in your mind 3 points regarding this magic realism. That first of all, it was found in the Max Escape episode in the character of Kanal Kachwaha and the character of Bulbul Fak. So students, keep your study up and be happy, stay safe. Bye bye.